greatness or gridlock, results or resistance, vision or vengeance, incredible progress or pointless destruction. Tonight, I ask you to choose greatness.
We're gonna make our country great again. We're gonna win, and we're going to win!
Unsilent.
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 Silent. Unsilent.
Yeah! Unsilent.
Unsilent.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ron Brooks.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, who were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare of bursting in air, they proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? For the land and of the free, and the home of the
I see your true colors shining through, and that's why I love you. Wow, you guys have made me so proud today. I cannot tell you how proud I am for the silent majority showing up today to be unsilent. This is so important. This is so historic and so important that we're doing this right now. I want to tell you something. I've said before, you know, one of the things that was a major adjustment for me when I went from being a liberal to a conservative was how passive conservatives can be when it comes to lifting up their voices, being active, going out, demonstrating, taking control of the situation, taking charge. I've said over and over again, you know, we've got to show up, we've got to show up. You know, like so many of you, I sat back this summer as we were all told that we had to stay home. We had to obey shutdown orders. We had to close our businesses. We had to drive the economy into the ground. And like you, I sat back at home under lockdown and I watched as Black Lives Matter and Antifa began destroying our country from coast to coast, burning our neighborhoods, burning down black neighborhoods, burning down businesses, looting stores, causing violence, causing vandalism, causing destruction. And it broke my heart. And I sat there wondering day after day, is anybody going to do anything about this? And then I thought to myself, yeah, I'm going to. I'm going to. And that is when we started launching Walkaway Rescue America rallies every damn week in this country, going to Democrat cities, going to Democrat states, marching and rallying, telling them that we do not give the radical left permission to destroy our country. I love you too. I watched as your courage grew and grew. I watched as the numbers grew and grew. And don't get it twisted, our first one was in Baltimore and it was, love you. But about 1/10 of the people who signed up showed up. And the next day, because we had over 1,000 people who said they were coming, so 1,300 people signed up to come, and probably about 100 showed up. And the next day, we started getting hundreds and hundreds of messages and emails. I got scared. I know this is important. I know I really wanted to be there, but I was afraid. I was afraid. And it's that fear that grips and controls conservatives that has allowed the radical left to become the radical left. They have allowed themselves, we have allowed ourselves to become so afraid that we have given them complete control to go out and destroy this country. People then, they say to me, well, you know, conservatives, we don't really march. We don't really, is that true today? Is that true today? They say to me, you know, we don't really march, we don't really rally, we vote, we vote. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, and listen to me as I say it loud and clear, voting is no longer good enough. It's no longer enough. We have to show up for America 365 days a year, every day. Wear your activism, wear your patriotism every day. And they say to me, well, but you know, what difference is a march going to make? What difference is a rally going to make? Why would I march? Why would I rally? Let me tell you what a difference a march and a rally makes. Just over 3 months ago, if any person on the face of the planet, at least in this country, told you, I'm going to run for office, and my platform is, I want to defund the police, we all would have started laughing and said, you're insane. Nobody's going to vote for you. And now, 3 months later, we have politicians campaigning on a platform of defunding the police. We have governors and mayors defunding police departments. It's my city, New York City, cut 1/5 of the budget of the police. Over $1 billion was cut. And crime rates are skyrocketing. Black neighborhoods, crime skyrocketing, murders skyrocketing all over New York City. Vandalism, destruction skyrocketing without the police. And all of this is happening because the left showed up. They showed up. As soon as George Floyd was killed, they sprang into action. They started marching. They started rallying. They started demonstrating. They started showing up in mass, in numbers. And within just weeks, they convinced people that defunding the police is a good idea. I say defending the police is a good idea. I sat at home all summer and my heart was broken. My heart was broken. I got this vision in my head of one of those old movies, one of those old black and white movies, those silly old silent films where the damsel in distress is tied to the railroad tracks and the train is coming speeding at her and she's waiting for the hero to come riding up on the horse and free her from the railroad tracks. And that is America today. America is a damsel in distress tied to the railroad tracks, waiting for a hero to show up and rescue her. Will you be the heroes that our America needs today? God's mission in this movement to rescue America from the radical left. I am glad that I have inspired many of you. It's a wonderful privilege to talk to many of you. Say you've inspired me. If I've truly inspired you, just like Scott Pressler said, don't let it end here today. Don't let it end tomorrow. Don't ever let it end. But remember, we have 1 month until the greatest crossroads in the history of this country. 1 month. And it is do or die time. But it's not too late. It is not too late. We can still register new voters. We can convince people they need to get out and vote. We can tell people how important it is to change your mind and vote. We can have uncomfortable conversations with black people, Hispanic people, LGBT people, women, anybody who's deranged by the radical left. Go up to them and say, listen to me. Do you understand? I care about black people too. I care about Hispanic people. I care about immigrants. I care about minorities in this country. That's why I'm a conservative. Because conservatism is compassionate. Conservatism is kind. And above all things, conservatism makes sense. The alternative does not. Don't tell me America was never great. Don't say it to me. Look at this stage. Jesse Owens, a black man winning the gold medal in the 1920s. Our freedom of speech, our freedom of right to debate, our freedom to discuss ideas led to women being able to vote when they couldn't vote. The greatness of the greatest generation saved us from the Nazis and the fascists. And before feminists decided that a man being within 6 feet, they were the ones who invented social distancing, the feminists. Before feminists decided that men weren't allowed to get within 6 feet of them, this gallant man planted a kiss on this girl to say, the war's over! America wins! Ruby Bridges, a little girl who went to school after schools were desegregated. Martin Luther King Jr., who had a dream. He had a dream that one day we would judge each other not by the color of our skin, but by the content of our character. To the radical left, are you listening? Are you listening to the teachings of Dr. King? It is about the content of the character. It is about our kindness. It is about what is inside of us. I've said again and again, if the rest of the world could come to know you as I have come to know you, they would love you too. Because I love you so much. I love you so much. American greatness took us to the moon. American greatness allowed us to persevere after 9/11. And it is that greatness in America that is going to allow us to overcome this economic shutdown. We will overcome this. We will overcome a pandemic. And our president is going to be there with us every step of the way. Last night was the Walkaway American Women's Town Hall. It was incredible, absolutely incredible. And one of my speakers last night was Lara Trump. And of course we got the horrible news 2 days ago, the evening 2 days ago, and the next day I woke up with a pit in my stomach just waiting. I knew I was gonna get that phone call, Lara can't come, Lara can't make it. I knew it was happening. And then I sat for a moment in stillness, and I just listened to what I was being told because I was panicking. I thought to myself, what am I going to tell the people who are coming, who are expecting to see her, expecting to take a picture with her? What am I going to say? This is so hard, this is so hard, what am I going to do? And I felt so clearly a voice speak to me and say, I did not choose you to do this because it's easy. I chose you because this is hard, and I know you can handle it. And I can, and I will.
That's right!
But I can't do it alone. And I have watched your courage grow. I've seen it with my own eyes. I have seen you become bolder. I have seen you become braver. I have seen you become more outspoken. I have watched you become unsilent. And don't think that the world is not listening. Don't think that for a second. Because you guys saw that video earlier that had a ticker above it that was showing that 200 some thousand people walk away. 200. We now have 500,000 people in that group. Our numbers have doubled. So, in that regard, I say thank you, Black Lives Matter, and thank you, Antifa, because you doubled the numbers in my group of people who walked away. And let me tell you something very exciting. We don't just, Walkaway Campaign is not just a Facebook group that people join. They tell their stories. They make video testimonials. They make written testimonials. They tell their story about why they're walking away. And after Black Lives Matter and Antifa started destroying this country, the testimonials started rolling in from people in their 20s, early 20s, their 30s. We are grabbing America's youth. They are not lost. They're not lost. "2020 was really supposed to be our year. And this was true for all of us. I mean, we all had plans. We were all devastated in one way or another by the things that happened this year. 2020 was supposed to be the year that Walkaway began building college chapters from coast to coast. I did a college campus tour last year. Everybody said to me, can we open a chapter in our own school? I'm afraid to speak out. I'm afraid I don't have a voice. I'm not allowed to just be myself in my own school. And of course, then they shut the schools down because of COVID. So make no mistake. Let me make this very clear to everybody. Walkaway does not end at Election Day. Walkaway was never about one candidate. It was never about one election. It was never about one moment in time. It has always been and will always be about fighting radicalism whenever and wherever it is. We are going to show up and we are going to be there. You're welcome. I hope to God that life gets back to normal as soon as possible. And next year, I hope to God, will be the year we begin building out our college campus chapters. That we once again begin doing town halls for minority communities and all different types of people in this world, including straight white men. We love you. I love you, buddy. I think a Walkaway American Men's Town Hall might be coming up very soon. I love you all so much, but listen, who's calling me? That's gonna have to wait.
Oh, sorry.
I love you all so much. I love you for showing up today. I love you for being brave. I love you for being courageous. Let's continue to fight and fight and fight and fight. Tonight, I am told that there is going to be a prayer vigil for President Donald Trump at Walter Reed. Is that right? We're gonna go. We're all gonna be there. If you're available, let's all show up and pray for the president tonight. Six thirty, Walter Reed. All right. But listen, guys, never forget, everything that's happening in the world right now is happening for a reason. It's beyond coincidence, and it's absolutely by design. It is not a coincidence that Donald Trump is our president. It's not a coincidence that I was chosen to lead a movement of people away from the Democratic Party. A gay hairstylist was chosen to lead a movement of people away from the Democratic Party. The point I'm trying to make here is God has chosen radicals and unusual characters right now to do very unusual work, saving this country, being the heroes that America needs right now. He will not forsake us in this moment when we know we're afraid because of what our president is going through. He didn't bring us this far to let us down now. Never forget, Donald Trump is going to be okay. We are going to be okay. We are going to rescue America. Rescue America! Unsilent! Now do me one last honor here. I want to see you hold those walkaway signs way up high, and I want to hear you chant, walk away, walk away, walk away!
Walk away! Walk away!
Let freedom ring! Thank you!
And I love you. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm the first speaker. Hello, Washington, D.C. That was terrible. Hello, Washington, D.C. That's more like it. Well, I have to give a shout out first because my mom and dad are here with us today. Those are my parents. My name is Scott Pressler. For those of you who don't know me, I am the son of a retired Navy captain. I am that long-haired Eagle Scout. And I reject the Democrat Party. I reject the Democrat Party! But not with hate. I reject the Democrat Party with love. Love of country, love of neighbor, and love of the American dream. You see, I graduated from George Mason University with a 3.63 beauty and brains. I'm kidding, I'm joking. But I couldn't find a job, so I walked dogs for a living because there's no shame in a hard day's work and an honest day's labor. I moved to Texas to help elect the governor. I spent 2 years of my life working to defeat Hillary Clinton. I just love saying that. And I was even last year invited to the White House. So I like to think of my life as I started off very humbled as a dog walker in the doghouse. And I ended up in the White House! Now guys, a year ago, our president brought national attention to the city of Baltimore. And I saw that while everybody else was pointing the finger, and they were scapegoating, and they were blaming other people, but nobody was doing anything, right? So I posted on social media and I said, I'm going to the city of Baltimore, even if it's me standing on a street corner picking up trash. And I didn't realize what I had done because all these people wanted to help and I was like, uh-oh. Because I studied criminal justice, I did not study waste management and sanitation. So within 6 days, we organized on a Monday and we picked up 12 tons of trash in 12 hours in 1 day! So I went home to my mom and I was like, Ma, I'm really good at picking up trash. Her heart swelled with pride and admiration. at her son, that dog walker turned trash collector. But what I really want people to understand is, guys, this is a movement based on love. And the best way that you show love is through action, not words. And you guys say to me all the time, you say, Scott, one person can't possibly matter. One person can't possibly make a difference. Guys, I'm one person, and in 1 year's time, we've organized cleanups in Atlanta, Austin, Baltimore, Chicago, Denver, Duquesne, Houston, Kenosha, Los Angeles, Miami, Milwaukee, Portland, Pittsburgh, Philly! And I was even protested for picking up trash in San Francisco, California! Eat your heart out, Nancy Pelosi! So, remember how I told you I reject the Democrat Party with love? Remember, while they are being hateful and violent and burning down our cities, we are cleaning them up! I'm honored to be here at the Unsilent Walkaway March on DC. Guys, we're making history. This is historic. This is historic! But please, I don't want you to just go home after this and say, I saw Scott and his hair, which does look wrong. No, guys, this is it. We have 30 days. Please, I'm asking you, I'm begging you, I'm encouraging you, I'm urging you, and I make a commitment to every single one of you. And I mean this as fiercely, as firmly, as ferociously as I stand before you. I promise. I'm gonna spend the next 30 days doing everything within my power. And I promise, I will not bow down to political pressure. I will not cower. I will not buckle. I will not bend. I promise to you, I will do everything within my power to win this November! Thank you for walking away from the Democratic Party. Thank you for supporting Brandon Strzok. And thank you for being the unsilent majority! I love you guys. Mom, Dad, I love you. That's it.
Next up, outspoken actor, pilot, and security agent Lorenzo Lamas.
This is gonna be a fun crowd. Love you guys. What a great day for this. Texas Reloaded, that's right. You guys been having fun? We got a lot to talk about. I wrote a speech for you guys. But first I want to say something. Everybody, I hope you're praying for our president right now. He will get through this. He is strong. It's been a strange year, to say the least. Started off pretty good. All right, we were taking out some Iranian terrorists. That partisan impeachment failed. We had the best economy in decades. Things got a little strange. The world became COVID, Tiger King, and toilet paper memes. I'm gonna get to cancel culture. Aunt Jemima got canceled. Paw Patrol got canceled. Even the Murder Hornets decided to leave because they saw what was going on in Chaz in Portland. And everybody's like, what happened to the Murder Hornets? And the radical left proved that there was no lie they won't tell, no building they won't burn, no founding father they will not topple in order to gain power. And America finds herself in a hostage situation where the radical left will not let up. It will not stop the violence until they get the power they crave. And this is what they mean by no justice, no peace. They don't actually mean justice, they mean power. They mean if you don't give us power, we won't give you peace. And we will never let them have it. Of course, we've got a presidential election to win. And Joe Biden, in his own words, is going to be the most progressive candidate in history. And let's be crystal clear about something. This is not the Democratic Party you once knew. Imagine the following quotes said by a modern Democrat. Quote, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Now, how about this one? The same revolutionary beliefs for which our forebears fought are still at issue around the globe. The belief that the rights of man come not from the generosity of the state, but from the hand of God. That's JFK. He's a great conservative. Democrats cannot say these words because they haven't believed them for decades. And that is why you are walking away. You don't have to take my word for it. You can just listen to what the Democrats are saying. Take them at their word. This is a radical new Democrat party that tramples over liberalism and embraces Marxism. This is a party that cannot say one bad thing about Antifa militants terrorizing our cities, but finds ample time to degrade our own flag and anthem. This is a party that makes excuses for China, encourages rioting, but shuts down your churches. It allows the mob into your neighborhood, but confiscates your guns if you dare to defend yourself. And over the past few years, I've given a lot of talks about the dangers and origins of socialism. I often point out that the advocates for the radical left attack America herself. The very idea of America is toxic to them. After all, if you're predisposed to see all issues through the lens of oppressors and victims, then it's no surprise that the radicals see America herself as the ultimate oppressor. Their Marxist teachers and Soviet propagandists taught them well. They've been doing it for a long time. But even I could not predict how the movement of anti-Americanism would become so in vogue, so stylish, so casually accepted by large swaths of our society, and ultimately by a major political party. They can never seem to say one good thing about the country that they actually live in. Theirs is the politics of resentment, of fear. It's of group power identity politics. It's a vision where all problems must be viewed through the lens of power and oppression. It's an ideology that only survives if it convinces you that everything around you is unjust, in crisis, even evil. Because how else can you actually get someone to believe that in the most prosperous times in American history, in world history, that you need a fiery revolution, where we have to tear it all down and start anew? It's seductive. It's seductive. It makes young people think that there's some secret that they were unaware of, some secret history of why America is evil that they weren't being told. And it's a seductive ideology for younger, kind-hearted liberals who do desire to fight against injustice. But then the term itself becomes redefined. Justice, according to the woke progressive, comes to mean power over others, as opposed to its true definition, protecting the rights of individuals, our life, our liberty, our property. They say they want to fight inequality, but then they veer towards radicalism again. Instead of being about helping the poor rise up, it becomes about punishing those who are successful. Ultimately, it's just the politics of gaining control. And the quest for power has serious policy consequences, pretty radical ones. Again, we don't need to guess. We can just listen. They talk about it. When Democrats say they want to defund the police, I take them at their word. Democrat cities like Minneapolis, New York, Portland, Los Angeles, Austin have all taken what started as a pretty radical slogan and actually made it into policy. Who does this hurt? It hurts communities of color the most. The chaos and rising crime across our major cities is the result of Democrat governance playing out right before our eyes. It's defund the police, it's encourage the mob, and watch our communities be torn apart. They talk about dismantling the system. Again, we should take them at their word. And what is the system they refer to? It's our cultural institutions, it's our economy, and it's our republic. They attack our culture of inalienable rights by canceling free speech and opening up our churches to taxation from the federal government. All the things you thought were fine, family, church, maple syrup, the national anthem, they're rendered unacceptable by these new postmodernists. All right, I don't want to start a fight about maple syrup, guys. I've seen like there's like Vermont and Canadian. It's not the point. They want to. The Democrats want to raise middle-class taxes. $4 trillion worth. They want to punish small businesses for their success and raise your electricity bills by destroying our energy sector. Popular magazines like Teen Vogue, they teach our kids that it isn't enough to defund the police. We also have to abolish the oppressive system of private property rights. Again, we just listen to them. Listen to what they say. They want to remove the foundations of our republic by packing the Supreme Court, making D.C. a state, abolishing the Electoral College, eliminating the filibuster. They stand for pure majoritarian rule. 51% of the population telling the other 49% what to do. That's not unity, that's divisiveness. It's tyranny of the majority. Our founders knew better. And what's on the other side of this revolution that they want so bad, this resistance they're always talking about? It's chaos. It's chaos, it's destruction in the wake of this ever futile search for some kind of progressive utopia. They have no idea why anything works, where our prosperity came from, or how to create and build. They seek to tear down things they themselves cannot build. They seek to set our house on fire while we are all still inside. But we have a different vision. And if we're going to talk about walking away, then we also have to talk about what we're walking towards. We don't have to look far to find it. Maybe you have a penny in your pocket. It's one of my favorite coins. Okay. I wasn't sure where you were going with that, but thank you. I like the penny because it's got our first Republican president on it, Abraham Lincoln. There's a lot of symbology in the penny. It's very carefully designed. The Republican president should remind us that Republicans have always been on the right side of history. We were the ones that fought against slavery. We were the ones that freed jailed journalists after Woodrow Wilson's regime jailed them. We were the ones that overwhelmingly voted for the Civil Rights Act, while Democrats were split. Republicans have always been on the right side of history. We should be on offense, not defense. But there's more to the coin that I like to talk about. It's the smallest unit of currency. Just like Western civilization figured out that the individual reigns supreme, the individual is divine. For centuries and centuries, we've been grouping people into, whatever it was, skin color, religion, or gender, and saying, you vote this way, or your interests are because of this. It's tribalism, caused warfare, caused division. It was only when we've discovered that the content of your character matters the most that we were able to rise up above the ashes. In the last few hundred years, we've prospered as a human race more than ever over thousands of years. It's been exponential because we figured out that single truth. There's more on the penny. E pluribus unum. This is what our country is founded on. Again, not group-on-group identity politics, but of many one. One nation under God. It says something else on our coins. Liberty. We stand for liberty. Not asking the government to do everything for us, but liberty, the right to pursue our happiness. Written in the Declaration of Independence, the document that tells us why government exists. But you can't have liberty if you're not a good moral people. So what else does the penny say? It says, in God we trust. Because our morality comes from somewhere bigger than ourselves. You don't just get to make it up. Conservatism is gratitude. It's gratitude for the things that work. Our culture, economics, and political structure. American culture means something. We're personally responsible. We're mentally tough. We believe virtue is not an opinion, but comes from God. We have a culture of rights, where free speech must be protected, not questioned. We believe liberty is non-negotiable. The false premises from clever politicians will not trick us into trading our freedom for a false sense of security. We believe in nationhood and the culture of Americanism, where we stand for the flag. We throw a parade on the 4th of July. You speak up at your local town hall. You gather at the National Mall. You learn the history of Old Glory and eat a hot dog at a ball game. Americanism means something. And we stand for an economic system that gives everybody the best possible chance at success. We protect personal property, intellectual property, make it easier to start your business, not harder. And as the Democrats have transformed, so have we. We're now the party of the American worker, of American prosperity. We know that unity is found in a common love of Americanism, not in forcing each other to live under the rules of a slim majority. Our Constitution protects disagreement, the ability to live as we wish and self-govern, not top-down decisions forced down from Washington. And we'll renew this belief that our country's story is one of unprecedented posterity and freedom and success. And it's because of the bedrock of ideals upon which America was founded. We're the party that will teach the next generation to love America and be proud of their country rather than ashamed of it. So this is our job. It's our duty. And our calling between now and November to tell the right story of America and show the American family, the American worker, and every American patriot that this will be their century. And we will not be bullied into submission by radical revolutionaries. We will not cede our leadership role to the Chinese. We will not tear our country apart out of some misplaced guilt. That's not what a strong people do, and a strong people we are. The story of America, the story of this country is one of an enduring struggle as we struggle to live up to the ideals of 1776. We aren't done. We have work to do, and that's good. We like work. We're pioneers. We always have been. As Reagan said, we do have a rendezvous with destiny. And that destiny is a shining light on the hill. It's the #1 destination for all freedom-loving people who desire to embrace Americanism as their own. And dreams are made here. Happiness is pursued. No one will do it for you. It's up to you. And that's just the way we like it. And this century will be about guaranteeing that opportunity, protecting your right to pursue your happiness. I'll tell you what, it's impossible not to be proud of this country. It's impossible not to love it. It's impossible not to believe in it. Many try. Many try to tear it down from within, but it doesn't matter because there's too many of us who will fight and who love this place. And we know a certain truth. And that truth is this country is built on the greatest ideas the world has ever known. Since the rise of America as the world power, human prosperity has flourished. It was America that led to the defeat of Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan. It was America that rebuilt a war-torn Europe and Asia. It is America that has underwritten global security for free trade and commerce. It is America that has led the world in innovation. From energy to advanced computing to the internet. We shared that technology with the world. It is American innovation that put a man on the moon, pioneered manned flight, led to healthcare breakthroughs like the first organ transplant, the MRI, the human genome map. It was America's unwavering defense of freedom and human rights that prevented the scourge of communism from becoming a global power. This is our story. Like many stories, it's filled with villains, heroes, dark times, proud victories, sadness, overwhelming joy, failures, and triumphs. It's a human story, after all. And it carries with it all the inescapable imperfections of the human condition. But just as your story does not end with your sufferings or your failings, neither does ours. America is a fabric. It's woven from the threads of human history's most noble achievements and greatest ideas. The American system of government, the first to enshrine natural rights, liberty, and equality. It's a pinnacle of human enlightenment, born from thousands of years of civic experimentation and ancient wisdom. The American spirit is a product of the oldest and most important virtues: self-sacrifice, courage, tolerance, love of country, grace, and passion for human achievement. And these foundations have underwritten our great American story. It's a story with a consistent, enduring creed: fortitude. And we can decide right now that American greatness will not be rejected nor squandered. As the American founding was grounded in individual liberty, so will be our future. And our rediscovery of our own strength, it must be an endeavor undertaken by each and every one of us. It's our path. It is what we are walking towards. We will not be bought off by the false promises of authoritarians. We will not be demoralized by those who tell us to hate our country. We will walk with pride and with love and with patriotism, and we will win. God bless you. God bless this great country. Go out there and tell the great American story. Thank you.
Thank you all for sticking around. Listen, looking at all of the things online with the Democrats celebrating the fact that our president is in the hospital. But I'm going to stand here and I am going to tell the Democrats, everything you've done to me has already been done to you. I know some of you are like, what is that? What is that? If you haven't seen The Color Purple, then you don't know. And I'm here to tell you, if you haven't seen The Color Purple, then you ain't black. Many of you are like, well, that's fine, I'm not. Okay. Great. Well, then you understand when I say that Jill Biden reminds me of Miss Millie. And anytime I see her standing next to Jim Crow Joe, it's like I can hear her saying, "Would you like to come vote for me? Vote for my husband and beat my maid?" And I feel like Sophia when I say, "Hell no." See, I heard they had black voices for Trump, and I'm about to be one. Is that okay? See, because I don't understand now how black Democrat leaders are trying to rally up black people to vote for Joe Biden with all the racist things that he has done towards black people over the last 47 years. And I'm here to call black Democrat leaders to the carpet and let you know that you are turncoats. There is no way that you can claim that you're for the black community when you want to put the man that championed the 1994 crime bill in office. See, unlike you, I will never forget. The Democrats might as well just put on white robes and a white pointed hat the way they have ravaged the black community. Just hop on a horse and go ahead and burn a cross in our yards. That's what you need to do when you tell us to vote for Joe Biden. And I'm sick of hearing celebrities and black Democrat leaders saying that the black woman is the most unprotected woman in America. Well, I'm here to tell you, if you want us to be so protected, then stop trying to buck break black men. See, they don't like real leaders. They like to put a man in a dress and put him on the stage and have him sing at the DNC. That's not my hero. My hero is someone that can look Pharaoh in the eyes and say, "Let my people go." That's a hero to me. And I know that Donald Trump is not perfect. But I can tell you what he hasn't done. He has not put in policies and laws that have decimated the black community. He's never done that. Donald Trump did not try to insult my intelligence by telling me that I need to vote according to my skin color. He has never done that. So he may not be perfect, but he is my choice for November 3rd because I'm not perfect either. But I can tell you what, he's an imperfect man here to complete a perfect mission. And as the naked girl, someone that lives life open, honest, and emotionally exposed, I love a man that lives open, honest, and emotionally exposed. So as I go, and I know that President...
Once upon a time, I was a liberal.
Walk away, yeah.
Walk away.
Won't you walk away?
Once upon a time, I was a liberal.
Won't you walk away? Yeah.
Walk away.
Walk away, walk away, won't you walk away? I was a man without a home, in search of a place I could call my own. Where I fit in, where I wasn't alone. Then it hit me, New York City was where I belonged. And made me believe I was victimized, and only they could save my pride. I was justified to demonize the other side.
Once upon a time, I was a liberal.
Walk away, walk away, yeah.
Walk away. upon a time, I was a liberal.
Walk away. Walk away.
Walk away. Once upon a time, I was a liberal. Walk away. I staunchly reject racism of any kind. I reject the marginalization of any human being based off of their gender or sexual orientation. I reject tyrannical groupthink. I reject a system which allows an ambitious, misinformed, and dogmatic mob to suppress free speech, create false narratives, and apathetically steamroll over the truth. I reject the acceptance of junk science and superstition to advance ideological agendas.
I reject hate. I reject hate. Hate, 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 hate. Walk away. Walk away.
Walk away. Once upon a time, I was a liberal. Walk away. Once upon a time, I was a liberal.
Race, creed, religion, color, orientation. Walk away, it's an emancipation. Don't look back, it's a brand new day to walk away.
Once upon a time, I was a liberal.
Race, creed, religion, color, orientation. Walk away, it's a liberation. Don't look back, it's a brand new day to walk away. Won't you walk away?
Once upon a time, I was a liberal. But liberalism has changed, and I will no longer be a part of an ideology or political party that represents everything that contradicts my values of unity, equal opportunity, personal empowerment, compassion, and love. So I am walking away. And I encourage all of you to do the same. Walk away.
Walk away, yeah.
Walk away.
Walk away, yeah. Won't you walk away?
Once upon a time, I was a liberal.